We're now going to move on to position 9. Everyone you're going to see from this point forward is position 9. Plus Eric, who led us off jumping the sorry, I missed that. So Eric, also position 9. He wasn't position 8. He's all right. Position 9, starting off, Ty Peeve. Peeve? Kathy, which is yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ty Pethy, and I'm running for Seattle City Council Position 9. Before I tell you why I'm running, let me just give you a little bit of my background. So I grew up just north of Seattle in Lake Forest Park. I went to school here, I went to college here, and ever since I was a kid, I've been trying to make the world a better place. Back when we had WTO, I was with others protesting the World Trade Organization and the environmental rules that they were creating, as well as the abuses of labor. In the lead up to the Iraq War, I was part of the Seattle neighborhoods organized against the war, SNOW, as well as Not Our Name, NION, because I thought that the war in Iraq and also in Afghan were immoral and unjust. For the last 10 years, I've been proud to work at the Seattle colleges, at Seattle Central College in our Student Leadership Department. I've served as delegate on the Youth and Families Initiative under Mary McGinn. I've been a trainer in the Community Emergency Response Team for the City of Seattle, trying to get us prepared in case of a major disaster like an earthquake. And in the last 3.5 to 4 years, I've been proud to serve as the president of the Washington Federation of State Employees, Local 304, representing 2,100 hard-working state employees across Seattle and King County. So I'm in this race because I really think that education, affordable housing, and workers' rights are key issues to all of us. Every single person deserves an education, and without that, you don't have any opportunities for good paying jobs in your future. I know that we can take the 13th year program down here at South Seattle College and expand that citywide. I know that we can take the Seattle Promise at Seattle Central and expand that citywide. Together, that would give every Seattle area high school graduate 1 free year of community college, and then add need scholarship to finish off their education. And that would be the first step. I know that many of our families struggle to find childcare. I know that we can work with our Seattle Public Schools to put innovative summer K-12 programs together so that every student has an opportunity to learn over the summer and not fall behind, and that every parent has that option so they don't make huge sacrifices to find those educational opportunities for their son or daughter. I know that we can put together an open source textbook program that would save the Seattle School District millions of dollars and save all of our college students hundreds of dollars each quarter. I know that we can work with King County Metro and Sound Transit to have free Orca passes so that our students don't have to worry about how they're going to get to class and back. I know that we need to do a lot more for affordable housing. We all know people are being priced out of our city. We know that luxury units are going up. We know that there are institutional investors who include real estate as just part of their portfolio. We all want walkable, livable neighborhoods where we can bike, we can bus, and we can be a part of our communities. We want denser neighborhoods so everyone has a place where they can live. We need to expand the mandatory housing percentages so that we can get that as high as possible without slowing down that development. We need a vacancy tax so that property is sold or rented and doesn't sit as just an investment. That would also stabilize our property values and make sure that those homes really go to someone that needs them because they want to live there. We can take any revenue from that and subsidize housing and have a funding mechanism for that, as well as a housing first model to really deal with our homelessness crisis in a humane and efficient way. People generally can transition from homelessness if you give them that place to live, why they take services to better themselves and get themselves back up on their feet. We can do this together. Finally, we need to make some expansions to workers' rights. Everyone deserves a just cause clause for the workplace. That means that they can't fire you unless they give you a reason with some evidence and it's fair and consistent in the workplace. Without that, we can't enforce anti-discrimination laws or make sure that people actually have a fair workplace. We need to make sure that secure scheduling is expanded for every single worker. Everyone should know they're scheduled 2 weeks out. Without that, you can't plan your life, you can't plan your family, you can't be a part of your communities. We need to make sure our small business owners have the best training and education on labor laws, on inventory, on accounting, so that our small business owners can succeed. And we need to increase the minimum wage, because right now $15 is just not enough. People can't live on that. And anyone that works 40 hours a week deserves to pay for their home, food, and be able to live in our city. And finally, we need a capital gains tax so that everyone pays their fair share and we can get the rich to pay theirs. Thank you so much. My name is Ty Pethy. Please visit my website. Thank you so much, everyone.
Our next speaker is Ian Affleck-Ash.
Yes, you got it right. Yes. So few people do. Hello, Delridge.
Hello, Ian!
Good to meet you too. Now, I'm aware that everyone else somehow nailed their speech without any notes. Holy cow, guys, that was incredible. So, hello, Seattle. I know it's not plastered everywhere, but my name is Ian Affleck-Ash. I'm 26. I'm a union-protected cashier at your Wallingford QFC, and I'm hoping we can do better. What do you see when you plan for the future? I see a gleaming, verdant exemplar of what it means to care as a city. I see 100% housing rate, crimeless streets, and satisfied citizens doing what they love. I see thinkers, planners, movers, and doers. I see communication by people to their governance and honest and prompt responses. I see businesses innovating what our civilization needs to succeed. Law enforcement who do no harm, and the best education available for all people that want it. To all that want to learn. Now, I'm an idealist. I'm an agent of kindness, and I'm an enemy of complacency. In our world, I'm tired of cruel lessons, vicious exploitation. I'm fed up with the profit being the point, as if it actually gets us anywhere. For we have listened too much and invested too much into luxury when people suffer. We have funneled funds into entertainment instead of employment. We have invested too much into silver and not enough into wood. Too much rent per square foot and not enough affordability. We have a duty to each other, one that government has left to a smolder. I will bear a torch. When we must build, I will hold a hammer. I will serve my city, elected or not. For all my bluster, I am guilty of inaction, all the same. I am a self-confessed former sloth with little achievements, little accolades. I have awoken recently to violence and intolerance, shouting over the lessons of Mr. Rogers. It is not right, and all is not right with our world. People burn as beacons, calling for help. To call us, a callous audience who have grown accustomed to their suffering. Please, Seattle, we must rise. We must answer this call. We must house and love our homeless. We must move an immovable nation by setting an example. Speak to those that have not listened. How much can we accomplish together when we stop bickering over frivolities and focus on human lives, our success? Find out by electing me, a free agent who can straddle the divide between our political parties to reach the answer the people want. I only care about the people, their suffering, and what we can do about it, you and I. When those elected have not done enough, look past their incumbency to the purpose of representative democracy, choosing the people who can best speak for the people. We must restore our funding to the neighborhood councils. Who knows better than what the neighborhoods need than our neighborhood councils? Who knows where the money should go than the people who live it every day. But it was taken away from us unjustly. We must bring it back. We are the people, and we are so tired of our money being wasted on projects, wasted on developers who don't deliver. Again, my name is Ian Affleck Ash, a candidate for position number 9. Let's talk about luxury after this. We have enough of it. What can we actually do with the money that we could have if we focused on the bare tax? Thank you very much. I'm going to run a little bit under time. Have a great evening.
Our next speaker, David Preston.
I'm going to try. If it's any consolation, I've got notes too. My name is David Preston. I'm running for position 9. I'm a writer and an editor. I worked for the state government for 15 years, and I've lived in Highland Park for about 30. I live just down the road here, and you might have seen me walking around the neighborhood. So if you see me walking around the neighborhood, feel free to stop me and talk to me. I write a blog that's devoted to clean government, so I do a lot of investigative journalism, specifically directed at the City Council and City Hall. I'm also a writer for a Facebook page called Safe Seattle, which is devoted to issues of public safety. I got into this race because of my connection with the blog and with Safe Seattle. On the blog, I hear, and on Safe Seattle, I hear from neighbors every day who are having some kind of issue with City Hall. They've got a problem. They try to contact their council member. They don't get an answer. So that's where I come in. I go out and meet with them, get their story, publish it. Or first I talk to the city council member and see what they have to say, if they have anything to say. And then we publish. And oftentimes we get good results for the people who contact us. So like I said, that's why I got into the race. I had the chance to observe that city council was getting a little out of balance and wasn't doing a good job for the people. So, question. What is city government supposed to be doing? Well, first they're supposed to be keeping us safe, keeping the city livable. They're supposed to attend to city business like potholes and libraries and police. They're supposed to answer calls and letters. And then after all that stuff is done, the boring, everyday stuff that city government is supposed to be doing, that's when they can start getting into the big stuff, like big transit projects, and planning for what the city's going to look like 50 years down the road, 100 years down the road. So what's government not supposed to be doing? It's not supposed to be telling people how to live their lives. It's not supposed to be telling business owners how to run their businesses. It's not supposed to be promoting class warfare. I have to say, I've seen a little bit of that lately. And it's not supposed to be getting involved in national or international issues. That's what you do on your own time after the city business is taken care of. We're failing in several areas in the city because the council is confused about its role. For example, we have a homeless crisis, and this didn't happen overnight. It's been building up over years. The obvious solution to the crisis is to get everyone indoors, but that solution is being ignored. And what's the council's alternative? Hey, let's have more homeless camps and more RV campers. Just today, I noticed that there was somebody living on a traffic island less than a mile away from here, and they've been there for a couple weeks at least, and I had to wonder, has anybody from the city approached this person and asked them what kind of services they need? And if so, and they decline the service, what happens then? Where do we go from there? I don't think the city council has an answer, and that's one thing that I would work to change. We have an opioid epidemic where the obvious solution is to expand treatment beds and detox on demand to get people off drugs. The council solution, let people stay on drugs and give them safe injection sites. They'll get off drugs when they're ready. Not good enough. You can look around, you see that's not working. We have an increase in property crime related to the council's decisions on other policies. The council's solutions to that, let's blame the overtaxed police force and tell people not to go so hard when they've been affected, go hard on criminals when they've been affected by property crimes. Wrong, that's not going to work. So if I'm elected, here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to get into big projects to redesign mass transit. I'm not going to spend all my time on sports arenas. I'm not going to bash landlords. I'm not going to be out there protesting Donald Trump. What I am going to do is listen to people in the neighborhoods, and I'm going to go into the neighborhoods and talk to people to find out what their issues are. I have a lot more specifics about my policy. I invite you to check me out on davidprestonforcitycouncil.com. And as I said, I'll be in the neighborhood, and I'll be here after this event. Come up to me and chat. Thank you very much.
It was a little further than I thought. Lorena Gonzalez.
I almost did the same thing and just biffed it. I'm sorry for being late today. I'm a bus commuter and I live in the Junction, and the 128 bus got the best of me by being 30 minutes late today. So I apologize for not walking in until 7:30. So I am Lorena Gonzalez. I am the incumbent in position 9. It has been my absolute privilege and honor to represent the entire city of Seattle for the last year and a half. I am seeking re-election for a 4-year term this time, and I'm not only proud to be your council member, but I'm also a proud West Seattle resident. I have lived in the West Seattle area since 2006. I started off in South Park, then I moved to White Center, and now I live in the Junction. And I'm really happy to be here with all of you today in the Highland Park neighborhood, and really excited that you all put this candidate forum together. So a little bit about myself, for those of you who might not know me. I grew up in Central Washington State. I grew up as a migrant farm worker in Central Washington in a little town called Grandview. And my family used to migrate from Grandview over to Central Washington in Wenatchee, and we used to live in migrant farm labor camps. And I started working at the young age of 8, when I earned my first paycheck, and have been working hard ever since. And my parents are immigrants from Mexico. They came here originally as undocumented immigrants before adjusting their status. And every day that I do this work, and every day that I talk to community, I recall and hold true in my heart the sacrifices that my parents made by leaving the only country they knew, the only place that they knew, their only family that they knew, and the only community they knew, to try to provide opportunity to their unborn children. And I'm just humbled and honored to be able to serve in this role and to be able to continue the work that I've been doing on City Council. I wanted to talk a little bit about the stuff that I have been doing on City Council for the last year and a half. We have been working on a tremendous amount of issues. I am the chair of the Gender Equity, Safe Communities, and New Americans Committee, so I'm responsible for everything related to immigrants and refugees in our city, everything related to public safety, and issues related to gender equity. I have been focusing a large amount of our work on police reform and ongoing work related to compliance with the consent decree for the Department of Justice. We just had a hearing last week. We're trying to get approval from the judge on our final police accountability legislation, but I'm proud to say that we've been able to move our model of accountability to increase civilianization of those who oversee and investigate the police department. I think this is a good move. It's one that the court and the Department of Justice want to see us make, and we're going to continue to fight hard to make sure that those reforms get implemented. It's part of the reason I'm running for re-election, is because I want to be able to, as a formal civil rights attorney who practiced in that area for 10 years, who actually sued the Seattle Police Department for police misconduct and other constitutional violations, I want to be able to see those reforms over the line. I've also been championing a statewide paid family and medical leave. Seattle workers are some of the most impacted workers across the state in terms of our affordability issues and income inequity issues. A lot of our workers here in the city of Seattle, particularly women, I've heard stories from them saying that they've had to, after a near-death birthing experience, have had to make the choice of going back to work within 2 weeks. That is wrong, and I'm really proud to say that the state, thanks to the work that I was doing on City Council in terms of research about what our working families need, we were able to pass a statewide paid family and medical leave act that will apply to every single worker in Seattle and every single worker across the state. Starting in 2019, we'll be able to qualify for up to 12 weeks of paid family and medical leave, and that is a great result for our families and strengthening our middle income. The last thing I want to talk about is that one of my proudest moments was being able to find $1 million to be able to fund civil legal aid to protect immigrant and refugee communities. Highland Park and Delridge is one of the areas in the city of Seattle that is incredibly diverse, that has a high immigrant refugee population. And with this Trump administration, they're at risk of being separated from their families, and it's important for us to make sure that they have access to free civil legal aid, and that $1 million will be utilized for that over the next 2 years to be able to provide them that relief. One last thing I wanted to say that is specific to this neighborhood. I got a request from the Highland Action Committee to submit a support letter for the SDOT grant to be able to do the roundabout capital project just up the street over at Highland Parkway and Holden Street. Pointing in the wrong direction. I'm disoriented. And I'm proud to say that after talking with SDOT, I'm going to organize a city council letter of support for that grant application. We already funded it for $200,000. It is a major public safety issue in this community, and I'm really excited that we're going to be able to submit a letter in support of that specific capital neighborhood improvement project that has created a lot of problems for this neighborhood. Thank you so much.
And our last speaker for the evening, Pat Murakami.
Hi, I'm Pat Murakami, running for Seattle City Council Position 9. I am a long-term Seattle resident. I moved here in 1975 to attend the University of Washington. I have a degree in sociology and in business administration from the University of Washington, and my master's in business administration from the University of Puget Sound. I own a successful IT company. I've been in the industry for 30 plus years, and one of the experiences that has given me is working with a lot of different small businesses across a lot of different industries. So I really understand the needs of small businesses in Seattle. I want to preserve our single-family housing stock. We have families that don't own a home yet that would like to. Our millennials are aging into the place where they want to get married and have a family, and we need to preserve single-family opportunities for them. One of the things that we can do to make that happen is rezone properties to their current usage. Seattle has done a lot of global upzoning of single-family neighborhoods to L2, L3, and we're being taxed on the potential of the development rather than how it's currently being used. So we need to be taxed fairly. Then I want to give a voice to neighborhoods to determine where the density goes. Everybody's willing to work with the city on the fact that we're growing and we have density coming in, but you should have a voice on where it goes in your own neighborhood. I care a lot about public safety. I'm currently the president of the South Seattle Crime Prevention Council. I've been in that position for 7 years. I have worked to get racist officers, including a captain and a watch sergeant, out of our precinct. And I know that there are officers that need to be off the force, and we need to stand up to the police guild because they sometimes protect really bad officers. But then we need to support the officers that do a good job. It's hard, incredibly hard, stressful work, and we need more officers. We're only at about 60% of the officers that we should have in this city. People are waiting more than 24 hours to pick up a stolen car because nobody's there to fingerprint it. People are waiting 8 hours for somebody to come to their house that's been broken into. So this is not acceptable at all. But when we hire, we need to screen officers better. We need to have them reflect the faces and the gender identity of the people in our community, and I think that's been missing. I want to create a campus immediately for our homeless. The City Council has allowed homeless to be swept from place to place, and it is time to give them proper shelter with showers, laundry, food, and wraparound services on that campus where they get job counseling, mental health, and drug rehabilitation intervention. I want us to spend our taxes wisely. I care about economic diversity. I think we concentrate a lot on new construction and Amazon retail, and we need to do more than that. The bubble is a bubble right now, and we need to think about the future. I want to charge developers impact fees and not let them do in lieu of fees. And they need to build inclusionary units that span the gamut of affordability in every building. And 2% affordable units isn't cutting it. We need to keep public assets in the hands of the public. So many of you are probably aware Evans Pool in Green Lake and the community center is under attack to become privatized. That's not right. The city probably neglected upkeep to the point where now it has to be demolished and rebuilt, but it still needs to stay our asset in the hands of the public. So I would really appreciate your vote. I want to restore the voice of neighborhoods, small businesses, and your voice. Thank you very much.
That's our District 9 candidates. I'd like to just take a moment to thank all of the candidates for coming out tonight. Thank you.